Pike's pushed more and far enough ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah.
It's all about the entertainment, so I hope
everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it.
Look at Tyson! Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the iFormula Season 7 Super Formula Light Series Round 10 from Monza. I am James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Bradley Dalton here this evening once more. Bradley, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. It feels like I just saw you about an hour or so ago, James.
Yeah, that's good. There we go. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for joining us at this fabulous circuit here that is Monza. It's a few straights, a couple of chicanes, and a few right-hand turns. What could go wrong? Well, guys, we'll keep you up to date with the scores on the doors at this moment in time as we go into the final few rounds. In the pros at the moment, it is Christian Glamsier out in front with 239 points. Mackenzie Roon on 230. Marion Barbero on 218 with Robert Ridgway at 207. Adrian Collerseed on 194. Ian Lance on 187 with Scott Barton on 175. Alexander Rivera on 140. Timothy Nelson on 110. James Malaire, then Victor Solano, Gianluca Iliano, Frederick Larson at the bottom. In the AMS, it is Rachel Jimenez out in front on 207. Leading the way of a three-car fight for second and third with Mateus Balcar, Anthony Serrano and Alexander Ashana separated by 3 points. Alex Hinchcliffe in 5th, Alexander Cinco in 6th with Jack Clark in 7th, Patrick Mekjevic in 8th, Hans Juncker in 9th, 10th, then Corey Buchanan, Carlos Navarro, John Journey, Jeremy Dunn, Curtis Waters. The team is in 10 Get Good Racing front on 642 with Motorsports 559. Noxie Motorsports on 474. Then we've got Junker Racing, Elcar Esports in No Limits, RV Sports, Maxwell Racing Team, Octane Outlaws, Wolfpack Racing. Getting quite close in standings. Coming into the final few rounds there, Brad. Not many to go. Points up for grabs, and they've got to make the most of them.
Yeah, this is going to be the point where it's every opportunity matters here going into the last parts of the season. And the drivers just need to be ready to go. They need to jump at it. And again, we've had the mid-season shift from the F3 to the Super Formula Lights. And it really does show, it opens things up a bit. However, Christian Glamseeder missed last round, but nobody's really that far off in terms of pace, honestly. Everybody seems pretty consistent, and I'm curious to see if Marion Barbaru can catch Christian Glamseeder here at Monza, a track that most of these drivers should know and be comfortable with.
Famous circuit, I'm sure been here multiple times. You see qualifying before 5-minute warm-up. Monza's not hard, right?
I say this so many times, but this is a track that is deceptively difficult. It is a track that can catch you off guard if you're not prepared for it. It's fairly straight with a couple of chicanes through. Of course, you do have to watch for the first Variante, the Variante Ascari, the first and second Lesmo corners can catch you, the second Variante. But other than that, it's go straight for a minute, hit the brakes, turn. At least that's what it should be. Avoid sausage curbs and you'll be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't always work out like that, though. That's the thing, I think. Although, as much as you love to say it's great, it's a couple of squeeze and a little bit of turning in the middle, it doesn't always work out where it should be as straightforward as it's. Yes, I think that's the thing. And with it, you end up getting your own little problems. Off tracks are plenty at Monza. I think that is one of the biggest things about Monza. Ease at a curb and you get back. Some of them are quite pretty.
Yeah, it can get pretty wild for off tracks and for track limits, and just some of the incidents can go through. Now, then again, we only have 12 cars here, I believe, is what we're running. So I don't think we're going to see anything too egregious as the race goes on, but you never know. Somebody tries to go side by side through the first or second Lesmo, which we're watching Alano go through right now. You see anyone try to get gutsy and go side by side, you could see some fireworks go through, but overall, knowing the way these drivers are, knowing the way this league is, knowing the way this track is, I don't anticipate, anything egregious happening across our 25 laps.
Well, let's hope not. Watching it though, sometimes it's not always the driver's fault, is it? The problem is there's other people involved whenever you're in a race as well, so you've got to make sure that you're staying clear of the people in and around you. I think that you can end up getting yourself caught up in issues that aren't always necessarily. That's one of the things you guys are going to have to look out for, especially with the sudden stop that is turn one.
Yeah, turn one at the end of that long straight going into the first Variante will catch people off guard. And we can already see someone taking advantage of that runoff area there. And it's going to be interesting, especially if you got someone very close together. If the car ahead isn't confident in their braking point and the car behind isn't confident stopping, you're going to see some bumps and some runs there. Of course, if you're a Formula One fan, the infamous, Verstappen Hamilton coming together into turn one here at Monza comes to mind. There's been tons of big moments throughout the history of this track of just cars coming together. I've ran some races here and I've had some coming togethers with people, especially through the second Lesmo that misguessed their braking point and misguessed the way that turn carries through. So we'll see how things go. I don't think weather's going to be a factor either, James, which should really help the drivers just stay nice and comfortable. It looks like just a nice 66 degrees Fahrenheit, nothing crazy in that regard.
No, I think all right. They're not going to have to worry too much. Rain, anything that they're going to need to worry about. They're just going to be able to drive in the nice Italian weather and have a good race. But what we think, what we should happen, doesn't always.
it's one of the problems of being in the booth is you and me will kind of sit before the race and talk and get a game plan and get something in mind of what's going to happen. And we're either right or we're wrong. And I mean, the only way to find out if we're right or wrong is just let the drivers prove us right or wrong, which is it'll be interesting to see how that runs. Coloseed is right there on the back of the number 23. The number 23 there is Barbaru, who seemed pretty fast through practice. We'll see how things go through. I wonder how the super formulas do with following. That is one thing that I'm not super sure with, is how they do with following through those corners, through the Sano. Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to handle slipstreams and stuff. Typically, they're a pretty downforce heavy car, but I just don't know long term how they're going to do, especially down like the main straight, coming out of Ascari, heading towards Parabolica, through Parabolica itself, if we're going to see any sort of big like slipstream moments happen during this race.
Well, I expect going down in the Michele Alboreto curve of Parabolica, which is now, of course, last corner here at Monza. I think, again, should provide some overtakes. There's been going down into turn one again as well from that overtakes. Let's have a look at the grid at the moment, and as you can see, it is Christian in pole with Marion Barbaru in second, Robert Ridgway in third, Mackenzie Root fourth with Alexander Stana in Agent Jimenez seventh, 8, Eric Magnussen in ninth with Gianluca Iliano in 10th, Nick is down in 12th. Got Ian Lance and Piers Bowker bringing up the final parts of the grid before we get up and running. Go one off of what only epic circuit, and hopefully should be okay, right?
I think things will be fine. I think it'll be fine. 27 laps here at Monza. I think it'll be fine. Probably pit stop, I would say, around lap 20 if I had to guess, James, but we'll find out how things go.
Yeah, here we go now. We've got 5 lights up and running, and we are underway, and it is green, green, green. Here this evening with Christian Glamsier, Robert Ridgway, Marion Barbaru, and Mackenzie Roon, all running down side by side into turn one. You can see almost too wide right at the front of the field. Glamsier, Ridgway, there's somebody up in the air. Oh, Jack Clark and Matthias Balco up in the air before we even got through. This is why they are up in the air here. They're coming down into turn one. Watch, keep an eye on the background. Jack Clark goes to the left. He comes across, covers off the line. Matthias Balco unfortunately goes straight into the back of it here. That is where the problem lied on that one. Did a bit of an issue. Oh, right. Back of that's it. But Christian Glancy got away out in front and is now trying to escape up the road.
Yeah, Christian Glamseeder up front. Robert Ridgway in P2. It looks like what happened there was Eric Magnussen was actually kind of the catalyst to start that. It seems like that whole outside line was just checking up, anticipating turn one. And unfortunately for Jack Clark and Matthias Balcar, they were in the back and they were just trying to run their race. They weren't anticipating the line checking up, and turn one, lap one incidents happened. But Christian Glamseeder here in the lead. Robert Ridgway P2, up from P3. Marion Barbaru, of course, losing out on that P2 position. But Barbaru's a very fast driver, so we'll see if Marion Barbaru can move through. Mackenzie Roon there in 4th place. But Christian Glamseeder, as has been the trend here in this league, in the lead, and who will catch Christian Glamseeder as the race runs? And that is the question. I think Slipstream is going to help keep things a bit closer, because watch Robert Ridgway there. Robert Ridgway is getting a run, and as we head down to turn one, the braking zone is going to be on the line, but Christian Glamseeder is sitting on the inside, and it does look like Christian Glamseeder is going to go defensive here up the inside and is going to settle things in. Ridgway has to take a different little line and isn't able to get the pass done, so that shows me that we're going to see a lot of overtakes happening into turn one.
Yeah, but the thing is, from Ridgway's point of view, brave on the brakes, but wasn't quite brave to basically be able to hang it around the outside, right? He had the gap there, he had the overspeed going into turn one, he could have hung it around the outside, didn't quite get it done. Is he going to root that mistake for not getting it done though. Today, now I've got to try and go at Glamseer again as we're going around Lesmo 1 and 2, chased down by Barbaru and Mackenzie Boone, of course. Further back, we've got Adrian Cullissy, we've got Rachel Jimenez, Hams, Gianluca Iano, Hinchcliffe, Lance, Magnus, Marshall, all back down there as well as they can scrap. But we've got this car fight, 4 cars almost with Mackenzie Boone developing up the front here. It's going to be a tough one for these guys, I think.
Yeah, this race is going to be, it's going to be long, grueling, and challenging, especially if you're the guy up front that's under pressure through the slipstream, through the runs. It's going to be a hard race for you to keep things moving, because watch this. Robert Ridgway making the move again, has the inside into Parabolica, and this time is well clear before they hit Parabolica and is through. So now Christian Glamseeder is the one that's going to be challenging, and we'll have the slipstream. We'll see what Christian Glamseeder can do in that P2 position for a run into turn 1. You can see they're hugging that right-hand wall, trying to mix things up. And then they dive back off left. Look at that Christian Glamseeder there on the right-hand side. Robert Ridgway through. How do they fare into turn 1? It's side-by-side through. Hard on the brakes. Christian Glamseeder is going to try to get ahead there. Into turn 1, they're still side-by-side coming out of the first Variante. And now it is Christian Glamseeder through as they hit the curve of Bassano.
Yeah, it looks like Glamseeder got basically Ridgway's number going through that turn 1. It doesn't look like Ridgway's able to get it. They're going side by side now through the curve of Bassano coming into Variante. Who's going to go on the brakes? It is going to be Glamseeder again. Ridgway again can't make his way through. Fortunately, he's now going to have to sit there. We've got Barbara and Brune as well. These guys battling. Battle down on but a little bit further down the order. That's in battle. Alexander Connolly moment with all goes in front of the side of the timing screen. Ridgway on your left, he's coming down towards you. Coming Ascari. Is he going to be able to make it? Not this time again for Robert Ridgway. Got to try and stay there if he.
Yeah, and he's there, and now he's going to pull out as we head down the backstretch here towards Parabolica. He's going to have the run. Christian Glamseeder kind of sitting out on his own there to the inside, and he goes through and is fine. And there we go. Now Ridgway, 0.3 of a second the gap, but he's going to run wide through Parabolica. That might cost him a little bit of time, a little bit of speed. And now, there we go, slipstream proving very, very powerful as we continue. You can see Ridgway now, he's to the inside, he pulls the outside. That was a Ferrari liveried car in the background that just went off. That was Ian Lance, I believe.
Right now, Glamseeder's done to Ridgway that Ridgway didn't quite get done to Glamseeder's back in front. These guys can see right. Settling down in fifth. That between the 5 of them all intact is first and 5th as Ridgway does take the lead back again. To be a continued where these guys are going to be swapping backwards and forwards.
Well, the thing is, Monza's a power circuit, and there's nothing these guys really have that they can dial in to try to get extra power. There's no push to pass. There's, nothing that's going to help him pull a gap other than just pace and skill. And unfortunately, these guys are so evenly matched in pace and skill as these cars are identical that it's going to be surprising to me if Robert Ridgway can try to pull a gap here on Christian Glamseeder, because every time he does, Christian Glamseeder gets back in the slipstream and just goes right back through. There's a reason Christian Glamseeder is top of the tables right now in the points. It's because he's fast, he's consistent, and he's just proving that here again as he runs towards the back of Ridgway. He's sitting in the slipstream heading into Parabolica, but this time he is sitting back. He's not going for the pass there into Parabolica. He's going to try to make the pass again into Variante, into turn 1. And we'll see how that plays off for him. You can see he's already starting to close the gap again before they're even out of Parabolica. And we'll continue to try to run through.
We're on the run down again now in the beginning. Is this going to be Ridgway's opportunity to hold it? He is. Barbara going to put Glamseeder under pressure. Not really. They both settle in once more. Allow each other to take the line as per normal, but on the run round, Curva Bassano up into the second Variante. Robert Ridgway from that Noxie Motorsports out in front at the moment. Glamseeder in second, Barriero in third, with Mackenzie Blue just Ridgeway's getting a little bit of a jump here, Brad, and from Glamseat's point of view, not allowing him to get too far away. Doesn't want to lose that draft, otherwise he's going to be in trouble coming onto them long straightaway.
Yeah, and the big thing that's going to help out Ridgeway right now is the fact that they have a Ian Lance ahead of them that is moving fairly slow that they can catch up to and try to use slipstream on. So Ridgeway needs to try to get to the back of Ian Lance, hold the slipstream through. That will help pull him away from Christian Glamseater if he can try to use the lap traffic for a little bit of help. And we'll see how that plays out as they head through Ascari here. You can see those sausage curves, those dangerous, dangerous sausage curves. I hate them, but they are right there on Ascari, and I only hate them because I couldn't hit them.
Yeah, that's the first rule of driving, is leave the curbs alone, right? But as you say, if you hit them, like a track, as Ridgeway's going to come off this corner, I expect straight over to the wall, try and keep that inside line, but as it's shown, it doesn't really matter whether or not you've got the inside or the outside now. Ridgeway using Lance to the best of his ability. What is Lance going to do sensibly? Go left, allow them through. Doesn't do that. He ended, comes away and tries to break the draft, which is a little bit strange, but these guys, the leaders, off now onto the cover. Bassano, Lance pulls out to the right hand side, does allow him through there, through the Ascari, and through the valley. Off he moves himself. Ridgeway here now on the run down into the second variante. Going to be up at full pace at the moment. Onto the brakes he's going to go. Try and get through without any major problems. Does manage to get through. Glamseater now breaking that gap. They're opening up a gap of about a second to Barriero and Rune. Here with 1.9 further back to Shana and Colourseed. See them guys battling out in 2B2B2 here, Brad. Continue on to lap 6.
Yeah, these guys up here, Ridgeway and Glamseater, are slowly pulling away from Barbaroo and Rune, and it's kind of surprising to me to see them pulling away. It's not what I expected for things to open up. The gap's over a second here heading into Ascari, but I anticipate that to close a little bit again, but they are pulling gap, they are pulling pace. It is, again, that 2x2x2 setup, and I think it's because those two are battling. It is P3 and P4 that are battling out. You can see them going slightly different ways to Ridgeway and Glamseater as they are all trying to jockey around for position. But the thing is, the more they fight, the more the gap opens and the further out of touch they get for moving forward. So it's kind of a catch-22. You can fight for the lead, you can fight for the position right ahead of you, but if you don't have that set, then you're going to start to lose touch with further forward positions. And Ridgeway and Glamseater, look at that. They are all over the straightaway there. It's over, it's back, it's over, it's back. But in the end, Robert Ridgeway has found something. With 20 to go, it's got him to hold the lead again.
Barriero as well. What's happening? And Hinchcliffe there, side by side into the Variante. Magnussen almost over on American, of course. Robert Ridgeway out in front. American leading the Norwegians here once more. The speed they're clocking up, and as they come down through the first Lesmo, looking into now, be careful of that runoff. Going to be a simple off track to lose, one that doesn't start affecting your racing here. Rune's pulled away from Barriero at the moment, so Rune is showing the pace, but we head up now north of 100 mile an hour, 154, 155. Is Ridgeway out in front. Ramsey are trying to close it as they come into Ascari. Nothing doing at the moment in Ridgeway, still managing to hold on, if anything, opening up a little bit of a gap here, Brad.
Yeah, Ridgeway's found some pace somewhere. I'm not sure what he's done, but he's managed to find just enough to break the strongest part of the toe. And now Glamseater is kind of sitting in that tricky part. If you think about the way the toe works, the car comes off the back, the air comes off the back of the car, it opens up, and then it closes, and then it'll kind of open up again a little bit. So Glamseater is really sitting in that spot where the air is closed and then starting to open up. And you can see even down the main straight, Glamseater is actually losing time right now to Robert Ridgeway, which tells me that he is on the back end. He's on the weak part of the draft that's not going to give him really any effect. He needs to reel it in within about 6/10 coming out of Parabolica if he wants to have a run through. But that is starting to give Robert Ridgeway the chance to open up. And of course, his last lap was the fastest lap of the session of a 141.16. So he's got pace. He's starting to open things up. And Christian Glamseeder, if you don't find something quick, I have a feeling that your chances at the win are going to slowly go away.
Colosseed looking up by Shana is going to get the job done. They come down now into the second variante. Does make it Colosseed. Off he goes now on his bike. Magnussen and Hinchcliffe just not leave cover alone at the back here. Still can fight it out. Magnussen find his way through. Barbiero slipping into the clutches of Colosseed. Shana slowly getting pulled in. Rachel Jimenez is there as well as a rear gunner. But Shana, as the guys are fighting out in the AM battle, of course. So these are going to have a nice little fight once more as they come into this. And let's see how they get on here as we're on lap 8 of.
Yeah, the laps are moving fairly quick here. Lap 8 of 27. We're going to keep things moving through here because look at this. Colosseed under pressure by Shana heading down into Parabolica, but not close enough to try to think about a dive into Parabolica. It's going to settle in behind, and Shana will try to have a run down the main straight here for P5 overall. Look at the lap times. Again, Ridgeway faster than Glamseeder again on the last lap. Look at Barbaru in the 142s. So we're seeing those times really open up. Rachel Jimenez very fast as well, so keep your eyes on Rachel as the race runs through. Here we go, Shana and Colosseed going into turn 1, hard on the brakes, and it is Shana that gets ahead of Colosseed into turn 1, and then has a little bit of a blink. So we see here that Shana is continuing to push around and try to push, but Colosseed there in the Get Good liveried car is just going to try to look around the outside here through Bassano and make a pass side by side, a little bit of jockeying around, hard on the brakes into the second variante, and it is going to be Colosseed who comes back ahead of Shana, just braver on the brakes there.
Yeah, definitely was there. Oh, Shana had a bit of a blink, unfortunately. A little bit. Going to throw Rachel Jimenez out. She's not entirely sure know which way to go. And with a disappearing magician, Harry Houdini, at this moment in time. Always a bit of a problem once again for these cars, but it looks like Ridgeway's got the number. He's opened up 1.1. Bar any major dramas, I think he's going to be able to get through here. Ashana's still going at Colosseed once again now, and still disappearing through the Ascari on that run up into the Michele Alboreto curve of Parabolica. Gone again. Ashana is gone. Oh, back again. So there we go. Like playing.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to surprise the competitors and just kind of just show up and say, oh, I'm not here. Nope, there we go. I'm in the lead. So we'll see how that goes. Look at that pace difference, 141.2 to 141.7. Robert Ridgeway is dialed in here at Monza. And there we go. Hinchcliffe trying to look up the inside there on Magnussen. Not close enough for a pass, though. But he was thinking about the run up the inside. Now the long run down the main straight. He's got slipstream here. What can he do, though? It's 0.4 of a second. It's 3.5 tenths. Can he get it down further? We're looking for it. 3.5 officially there. I don't think he has the slipstream advantage there that he really needs to have. He was just outside of where he needed to be.
Colosseed's got to slow down. Going to allow Shana to go through. That's also going to allow Jimenez to go through. Colosseed's going to have to, everything is done. Got to do it all again. That's going to be the problem. Just got himself a slowdown, and unfortunately, Colosseed now got to chase down Rachel Jimenez. Got to chase down Alexander Shana. Got to do it all again, but it looks like Shana's now got to slow down. So these guys coming to terms, and Rachel Jimenez says, "Thank you very much. I'm on my bike."
Yeah, and again, this kind of goes into Monza being deceptively difficult. It's really the track limits that catch people off guard because of the fact that the track is so straight with so minimal curves. Those curves, you want to carry as much speed. You don't want to hit the sausage curve like that. Adrian Colosseed into the wall in Ascari, and I believe Adrian Colosseed doesn't blink out. He, in fact, has to get towed back to the pits because I'm sure the front tire of that car was on the other side of the track.
Right back to the pits, right? Now, just, well, I actually have a look at also Hinchcliffe. They're continuing to got placed side by side. These guys are the closest battle on the race circuit. Round the Parabolica they're going at the moment. Magnussen opens it up, lets it go now. now going to slot right in behind Hinchcliffe once more as these guys continue to fight on the run down. Hinchcliffe not on the defensive. He's not ending anything at the moment. Takes down to the side. He's left the door wide open. He starts moving now. Not really sure the late move there. I don't know if he waited for Magnussen to make his move, but Magnussen close enough, I suppose, for Hinchcliffe to start defending quite early.
Yeah, and I really think that Hinchcliffe was just kind of waiting to see what would happen. I think that's a bit of that reactive driving to the car behind. And as he saw Magnussen was going to stay on the outside line, he said, okay, I'll move to the middle of the track, make you make a decision somewhere. It's not my favorite style of defensive driving, but it is a style that works. And as you can see, Magnussen 0.6 of a second back as we go through the second Variante and hit the first and second Lesmo corners. So, I mean, it worked for him. We'll see if Magnussen can start closing that gap up again as the rest of this lap continues. Lap 11 of 27, things have settled down. We've seen some slowdowns. We've seen some different things. Robert Ridgway up front by 1.5 seconds, and that is just going to continue to open up as this race goes. I think Robert Ridgway is in a pace of his own. He has managed to do something we haven't seen all season, and that is pretty much set Christian Glamseeder behind.
Wait for him. Thing for Glamseeder. He hasn't had this before, but Ridgway must have put the effort in, and he's now just gone and absolutely run away with it. 1.6 seconds, opening the time up, which isn't what you expect here. You expect it to go the other way, but it's going upwards. So it's quite bizarre that Robert Ridgway has got quite that pace as Hinchcliffe and also Magnussen continue to go at it here. Colour obviously went back to the pits. Lance has gone back to the pits and still in the pits. Colour back out. But Magnussen and Hinchcliffe giving us the racing as everybody else is a little bit more spread out on the left-hand side now before we start going down through that curve of Pisano off into the second Variante once more. 12 of 27, 15 to go here. Magnussen's number looks... Ridgway looks like he's got Glamseeder's number here as Magnussen pulls out. Is he going to be able to make it through past Hinchcliffe? He does. And...
Oh! And that is not what you want to do. Thankfully, he doesn't.
Right, I want to have a look at that.
A...
So I want back to. Wondering if banged.
Let's
get it all wrong. Got it all wrong.
It was all on his own. Too much, too sharp. Asking too much of the car, of the tires. Too anxious for the pass.
Tried to keep us, didn't he? Problem build separate you there. They just follow the leader on the way down. More unfortunate guys, they just wait to the pit stops to see starts bringing the people together. Brad,
yeah, we're halfway through the race, so again I'm thinking pit stops around lap 20. I could be wrong with that. Of course, these super formulas running different fuel loads, different strategies than the F3 were in the beginning parts of the season. So we'll see what the drivers do and decide from that. I don't really know. Iliano's starting to catch up to Shauna there with 0.8 of a second to gap there and rapidly closing actually there. That's the battle for P6 that is starting to shape up a little bit as those guys are heading out of the second Variante.
Back of Shauna. Shauna's internet settled down. Makes it fast. Caught him at the pace that he has. I don't think it's long ride till we get past here. Still got 40 laps on the clock. I don't think that's going to take him that long. Dave, he's putting time like he has done at the moment. And look from Iliano and Shauna's point of view there. Iliano was 2.7 over lap 10, and Iliano's just been. Iliano was quicker, 2.7. Iliano's got quicker, 11 and 12. So Iliano, fifth one there, and definitely a nice little battle that could develop.
Yeah, this battle I think is going to keep moving as things go on. And another fastest lap overall for Robert Ridgway with a 1:41.1 and a 1:41.4 for Christian Glamseeder. So that gap's still continuing to open up and move through, which, I mean, I don't know what you say for Robert Ridgway there. He's just taken off. Rachel Jimenez with a personal best. Ileano with a personal best there. Shauna, again, has said goodbye, good night. If I just Houdini, you can't pass me. And is now back through. So
I don't know if that's his defensive tactic there, Brian. I'm not quite sure that's on purpose.
I mean, I'm sure it's not on purpose, but if it works, right?
Well, it does. It doesn't make it. I think that's does it. Them to get past it as at times difficult. I was going to be never, aware of where it is, and like now, doesn't know where that car is anywhere, and he's just going to have to rely on the fact that Shana's on the race line. I think I'll rely on quite a lot.
Yeah, it's tough being the driver behind it, being in that position. I don't have a good answer for what you do in that situation. It's really just a case of a wing and a prayer, and keep your fingers crossed and just keep pushing. It's going to make Ileano really second guess himself for any moves he goes into, and our leaders into the pits. I didn't
say, like you said, more 20 hindsight, anywhere from 50 end down and still battling away. Down was last here. Out of the pits. Took an early stop, trying the undercut. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it could work out for him really well. We'll see. Ridgway, of course, has the pace, and he's came out in clean air, so we'll see how things go. I think Ileano might finally have the pass on Shauna there, because the gap's under a tenth of a second. Christian Glamseeder at this point really needs to open things up and take off running if he can, which is, I mean, it's easier said than done for Christian Glamseeder. You can see he's still losing time now to Mackenzie Roon. Mackenzie Roon is getting the gap down to 1.6 from when it was 1.8. Side by side is Ileano and Shauna here going through the second Lesmo, and Shauna disappears. Ileano's there. They're still side by side now, head down the hill here towards Ascari. One of them is gonna have to slot in, and I would be surprised if it's not Shauna who has to slot in here. But Ileano holds that line, and Ileano's still trying to push, and there's contact. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that.
No, I don't know. I will look at it. Obviously, aware that we take it back to live in a different way, unfortunately. I don't know if there was. Right, you're off the circuit. Oh, he's off the circuit. That should have been a
yeah.
When you're off the circuit, you can't really make that move. You know what I mean? You can't really do what you got. You can't really be doing that. You know what I mean? You've got to make sure that. You've got to make sure that you're well alongside, and he wasn't well alongside. Oh, Jimenez, it made my connection. Is James's audio glitching in and out a bit?
I was gonna say, I'm hearing you just fine on my side, but of course we're going through.
We're sat in one booth. I think that's the problem. We're not sat far away as such, but no, I don't think so. Let me know if it gets any better. I'm not entirely sure why there was or should be issues there at all. To be fair, as I've never had that issue today, and this is broadcast number 3 currently at the moment.
Glamseeder's into the pits here at this point, so this is going to be where things go. But even then, the previous lap, Mackenzie Roon just set the fastest lap of the session, and Christian Glamseeder was slower by almost a second that lap that Robert Ridgway pit. So we'll see how that goes through, and I have a feeling Robert Ridgway is going to clear Christian Glamseeder. I'm trying to look back in the background and see where that is at. Robert Ridgway, actually, no. It looks like possibly not. Are they possibly going to come together in turn one?
Yes.
Oh, they do. Oh.
There was contact there as well. There was contact. Ridgway's is straight. Glamseeder is straight. So they both survived that, but there was a brief little amount of contact there as Glamseeder come out the pits, and Ridgway did come out alongside him. So hopefully from that perspective, they should be good to go here, Brad, and now resume their battle. But it's whether or not, and I don't know if he has, is Glamseeder's got the pace.
Yeah, that's going to be the question for me. Glamseeder just doesn't seem as comfortable at Monza as we've seen him previously. It seems like the power circuits are not his favorite thing. This battle is closer than I thought it would be, and I think the undercut not near as powerful for Robert Ridgway as he thought it would be. 22.6 seconds now, the gap up to Barbaru, and another few seconds up to Roon. We'll see how that plays out in the long term as we watch here. Again, Ridgway's just starting to slowly pull a gap, but with the back stretch and then down the front stretch, we'll see if Christian Glamseeder can stay close. He is within that ideal slipstream distance. Ridgway makes his move over, makes his move back, and now we run through Parabolica.
Yeah, we are, and as you see, Glamseeder runs a little bit wide. He's going to lose a little bit more time to Ridgway, even though they're down on the drive. Ridgway takes to the wall, which is what we expect. Then he's now coming down again, opening up the gap. That's the thing for me, I think. If Ridgway wasn't opening it up on the straight, I wouldn't worry. But he's opening it up on the straight, and it's quite worrying that he's opening it up on the straight. And, yeah, keeping the gap going.
Yeah, that's the part that's catching me off guard, is that Ridgway's opening the gap on the straightaway where we expect the slipstream to be powerful, and we're expecting that gap to close or stay at least consistent. But no, Ridgway's somehow got straight line difference. I don't know if it's just a difference in front wing, rear wing, or what that setup difference could be. Of course, Ridgway with Ridgway setups would not surprise me if he's just got everything dialed in perfectly to keep things moving forward. And Christian Glamseeder there continuing to run through. Just out of character to see Christian Glamseeder being the chasing driver. And
it's
of
weird,
course,
isn't it?
Yeah, it is very weird. And of course, this is the closest battle on track. Both of these drivers have made their pit stops.
It's now just a straight one. The problem is it's quite weird to see Glamseeder have to chase down. He's normally at the front and he's normally running away with it with him and Mackenzie Roon. Roon's into the pit lane. Barbiero's into the pit lane as well. They're the other side of that fence. There they go. The two intend to get good sim racing boys are in. Where is Ridgway? Well, he's going to be coming around the top part of the Parabolica very, very shortly now. There he is as he's on his way through. Who's going to be able to get this one? Is it going to be Ridgway? Is it going to be Mackenzie Roon? And I think Mackenzie Roon is just on his way out now. It is going to be Ridgway. Is Roon going to get in front of Glamseeder as they're coming down now into turn one? It is. And Roon does manage to make it through past Glamseeder. He jumped Glamseeder in the booth in the pits. And that now allows Roon to go after Ridgway with Glamseeder trying to close him down as well.
That's a case of add insult to injury for Glamseeder. Glamseeder's right there trying to fight for the win, and then Ridgway is able to have just enough of a gap, and then Mackenzie Roon just magically pops out of the pits ahead, and Christian Glamseeder is going to be left scratching his head, wondering what he could have done different to change all of that. And even there, you see, if you were paying attention there, Christian Glamseeder coming out of the second Variante, having to crank in some anti-lock there, and Mackenzie Roon was right through the first Lesmo.
Yeah, made a mistake. And unfortunately, that's allowed Glamseeder to go through. You see Barbiero in the background making the same mistake as Roon. As these guys going into the last 8 laps now. And Glamseeder has made it through into second. But has he got the pace over Roon? That's going to be the question. has he got the pace over Mackenzie Roon?
I don't know. I don't know that I can say yes to that, honestly, because of the way things are looking. It just doesn't seem like he's had the pace. So I'm curious to see if Christian Glamsteer can hold on to P2 or if Mackenzie Roon is going to be able to move up and go through, because Mackenzie Roon, look at that, through Parabolica, is even still closing the gap onto the main straight, as Robert Ridgway has opened up over 2 seconds of a gap now. So Robert Ridgway should just be able to run away with it. And you can see even the lap difference there, 141.6 to 142.5 on that last lap. Now, of course, Glamsteer having to do a little bit of defensive move with Roon and having that fight, but it makes all the difference. And look at that, the gap 3/10 here from Mackenzie Roon. Mackenzie Roon right there in the prime draft position. It's going to be close and only 7 laps to go. So Mackenzie Roon, if they're going to make a move, they need to do it now.
Or stop fighting and try and close down on Ridgway. But to be fair, Ridgway's looked too strong. He looked too strong, didn't he? And has looked strong from the beginning, and now he's going to continue to look strong as he comes out the pits, gets his tyres done, and on his bike, and away he goes. And now he's just hurtling away once more as Glamsteer and Roon scrapping over the scraps almost of this second place here at Monza. And at lap 20th, lap 20 of 27. There we go. As these guys are continuing to fight it out. We've got Rachel Jimenez leading the AMs, sitting in 5th at the moment, ahead of the pros of Iliano and Coliseed, and also Ian Lance. So Rachel Jimenez doing a stellar job in 5th overall, leading the AMs, cementing the place at the top of the AMs standings after this one as well. Going to be tough for anybody to catch her over the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, no, I'd like to think Rachel Jimenez has that position cemented there. Extremely strong driver, and I will be surprised if Rachel Jimenez isn't in the pros next season, because Rachel Jimenez has seemed very consistent. Look at this, Mackenzie Roon with the draft down the main straight, door open by Christian Glamsteer, and right there inside line, he's going to hug the inside line, Mackenzie Roon is, but Christian Glamsteer right there, hard on the brakes, inside line is going to be Roon, outside is Glamsteer, turns around there, oh, Mackenzie Roon, you had that.
Yeah, I don't think he carried enough pace on entry. I think that was the problem. Didn't carry enough pace on entry to allow him to move the momentum through the second part of the corner. And unfortunately, that's where he ended up result from. Glamsteer is now coming into the second variante. We've gone left, we've gone right. On the way down into Lesmo 1 and 2. The right-hander, Glamsteer, does make it through. He's now through Lesmo 1. Is he going to make it through Lesmo 2? Look for the dip on the inside. He does make it through that as well. Now opens up 3 temps over Roon. The gap's going to start coming down. 3-2, 3-1, down into the 2s. Is he going to make it down before he gets into the chicane? Is he going to be able to make it? He's not this time, Brad. Again, I don't know if Roon's got the pace or if he's going to have to rely on the draft here, as at the moment Robert Ridgway starts coming into back markers.
I feel like Roon has the pace. I think it's Roon just isn't being confident enough to get the pass done. Honestly, that's kind of what I'm boiling it down to. Roon has the pace. Watch, he's closing the gap considerably through Parabolica, down to under 0.3 of a second as they come out onto the main straight, 2.5 tenths here. He's got pace. He's just not confident in the pass. He's not braking late enough. He's not being aggressive enough. Honestly, like, look at this right here. He's going to have the inside line. He's going to have the inside line, but he's going to brake early here. He's leaving the door wide open for Glamsteer to go back through. He's going to switch back here. And again, he's not doing the right things to get the pass done. I'm not saying Mackenzie Roon is a bad driver in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying Mackenzie Roon needs to get the elbows out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he needs to put himself out there as Ridgway's cleared Magnussen. The back marker there as Robert Ridgway goes through his second variante. Now Roon bounces the curb again. Glamsteer bounces the curb, sorry, and again Roon doesn't have anything to do. Can't do anything about it. They've dropped Barbiero's now down in 4th place, 2.9. You just see him in the top part of your screen now. Glamsteer again with Roon again on that run down into Ascari. Funny enough, again with deja vu once more. There's a car off in front. Jack Clark has gone off And I don't want to say again, but unfortunately for Jack, it is again. And he has gone off the side of the circuit. Now it's about Glamseater. Now it's about Rune. Surely you've got to get this done going into the curve of Parabolica. Rune pulls out to the left-hand side. You see him in that orange and blue. The black and green goes, and there he goes into the background. But I can tell you one thing, if Rune doesn't get out of this corner and head straight to that wall and hugs that wall, Glamseater is going to make the opportunity again.
Yeah, he needs to hold and defend, and now he's got Glamseater going around to the left-hand side there, to the outside line, the preferred racing line of the track. He needs to figure out how he can use this lap traffic, and look at that. Magnussen just completely stopping on the inside of turn 1 and said, I want no part of this. It forces Mackenzie Rune to get back in single file again with just a handful of laps to go. Unfortunately, the lap traffic not playing out to Rune's favor there, but Mackenzie Rune's still in the mix and still looking to move forward here as we're lap 23 of 27. And I think we can go ahead and just say Robert Ridgway is in a world of his own, catching up to the back of, that is going to be the battle for, I believe, P10 that he is on the back of there with Marshall and Clark.
There he is at the moment. Marshall and Clark are there. Let him through. Thank you very much. Does pull over. No, he doesn't.
Nope. He is just holding the speed.
As Ridgway does go through, will go through. There we go. Robert Ridgway goes through there. Puts a lap on Nicholas Marshall. Glamseater still got Rune in. They've only got 4 laps to go. Going to be a tough one.
Yeah, this is going to be challenging. Again, though, I think Rune can do this. I think Rune, honestly, might be in a good position. If they come into the final lap like this, I think Rune can get the pass done going towards Parabolica and then have the run to the line. It's going to be close, but I don't think it's impossible. As we watch here, Christian Glamseater diving into the wall. Christian Glamseater also now trying to use the draft there off of Marshall, just ahead, trying to move through.
Look him in.
This here, Rune, just hold it. Hold it there, hold it there. There you go. He's going to have to go defensive through. Oh, and there's contact, and they both spin. And Christian's got to go with the...
I'm surprised he weaved through, to be honest, because they're passable objects. He could have just gone straight through them, I believe. I don't think they are hard in any shape or form or anything like that. But that has put end to that. Yes.
I gotta wonder what actually... I've just got to wonder the mindset there that caused that, because that was a very out-of-character moment for both of these drivers. Mackenzie Rune on the inside here, Christian Glamseater the outside. They have the lap traffic ahead. The car's on the brakes. And, I mean, it looks like Mackenzie Rune left room there. But I also don't want to blame Christian Glamseater because he was on the outside. It's almost one of those 6 one way, half a dozen other sort of incidents that you can kind of go either way. I'll be curious to hear the driver's point of view on that, because I don't have a definitive answer from that.
No, I don't think you can. I think that's the thing, right? You've got to rely on the fact that there was a little bit of netcode. And I will say that now, there was a little bit of a squirrely moment that was not normally there. Now, I'll show you again. I will have to bring up the UI, unfortunately, to get us back. Now, what I mean by that is as they're coming into the corner and go, how close can I? That's good. There we go. You'll see Rune's on the right-hand side, right? Glamseater's on the left. And then all of a sudden, Rune does a little bit of a jump. And it's not normal for that to take place. He's braking in the straight line, just about there. There you go.
Yeah,
and then he runs over him. You see what I mean? That's not normal, right? That's not a normal movement. He isn't going to twist the chassis under braking, and that you'll put that down to netcode all day. That's the problem. Because of that situation, you've got to think that it isn't normal, and that's what it is. Because Ridgway just seems to be on a Sunday drive in Italy with his grandmother in the back.
You know, that's the unfortunate thing with sim racing is that netcode can sometimes ruin the best of battles. But that is what happens when you have Mackenzie Roon, an American, against Christian Glamseeder, the Norwegian. It kind of just... you can't do a lot about it sometimes. No. You just kind of have to accept that it is what it is and let it go. But it has kind of soiled what was a good battle. Just 2 laps to go here when Ridgway crosses the line. And I mean, I really was expecting a harder battle for the lead. And then Glamseeder just didn't have the pace. Ridgway got around him and ran away and broke slipstream. So, I mean, what can you really say on that one, James? Not a lot.
No, the problem is, he didn't look like he was under threat at any point. Do you know what I mean? For me, he just was dominant from drop. And that's the thing. He made up 2 places. He started first, got into first. Glamseeder started first and is now down in 4th. And for me, they're just... once, even when Ridgway come out behind or beside Glamseeder, Glamseeder just didn't look like he had a response. You know, Ridgway just looked way too quick. And he's just pulled away. That was it. I mean, done and dusted. So there we go.
Yeah, and honestly, there wasn't a response. That's the big thing with it, is that there was just nothing that could be done once Ridgway got up there and was able to break the gap. I gotta wonder. It's crazy to see that much of a difference as we run through here. 4.5 seconds and continuing to open up is the gap between Ridgway and Mackenzie Roon. You can see Mackenzie Roon in the background. They're just now coming out of Ascari as we're about halfway down the straight here towards the Parabolica. And we just keep things moving here. We're now going to be hitting the final lap. And Robert Ridgway just needs to complete 1 clean minute 41 second lap, and then that is race over.
1 more to go. But Ridgway's done a stellar job, hasn't he? And that's the thing. He's done an amazing job. Had the pace all day. And he just zoomed off. Gone and gone. And see you later. Take care. Adios. I'm going to go and pick up my grandmother. While you're there, get me a roast chicken. And that's it, really, for Robert Ridgway. There isn't enough that you can say about how he's handled this race, apart from he's Verstappened it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's Verstappened it. He got in the lead and just ran away, even if he didn't start in the lead. He got in the lead, and once he was in the lead, there was nothing to do. Mackenzie Roon just had a little bit of a slide there going out of the second Variante in the background, but no harm, no foul. Still running. Track limits, you know, we saw a couple slowdowns, a couple moments there, but overall, it hasn't, you know, absolutely soiled the race or caused anything crazy. Yeah, it's just, now that we've hit the end of the race, everybody's just running their own pace here towards the end as the leader is coming out of Ascari, and we'll have just the run, and then, of course, the famous Parabolica. And, yes, I had to fit the famous Parabolica line in here somewhere today. Sorry,
yes,
James.
That's okay. Robert Ridgway is on his way round now. The final corner. He's going to come over the line. He's going to take the victory. He's going to do an amazing job. Robert Ridgway dominated proceedings. He takes the win here at Monza. And a great job from him. Mackenzie Roon is second. Marian Barbiero in third, with Christian Glamseeder coming across the line in fourth. Rachel Jimenez overall 5th place. Wins the AMS, takes the overall 5th as well. Great job from Rachel. Stellar run. Absolutely amazing, with Gianluca Ilianu coming over to finish off in that 6th place. Wait, it was glitching for me too, says Stephanie Barrado. Oh, when was it glitching? And is it still glitching out? Can you tell me what's happening? Because we've had this on a couple of broadcasts. Me and Brad had it yesterday. I wasn't even broadcasted, and we had YouTube telling us that it was glitching. So can you tell us what is happening? Because it seems a bit bizarre that all of a sudden it started happening, Brad, but it wasn't just me it's happening to. It's been happening to me and Paul over the last 2 days.
I kind of wonder if it's not just a YouTube issue, because you know how YouTube is. It's YouTube is YouTube. That's all I could say about it.
Fuels. Maybe. Right. Let's wait. Who are we waiting for? Asian Colour Seed is on his run down through the Cava Parabolica. Let's see now. Comes over the line for the final time. Asian Colour Seed's going to take this job, and then we'll the line. There you go. Vamos! Rachel says, whoa. Whoa, are you related to Rachel? I can never remember. Can't remember if you're... you must be. Father? Brother? Husband? A manly figure in her life? Great-grandfather? I don't know. Let me know, Will. There as well. Right, let's bring you up the results after I've had a chat into Walt's family tree. Right. Robert Ridgway is your winner. Absolutely dominated. There you go. Mackenzie Rooney in second. Marion Barbiero in third. Christian Glamseater in fourth. Rachel Jimenez fifth. Gianluca Ilianu in sixth. Alexander Shana in seventh. Alex Hinchcliffe eighth. Colour Seed in ninth. Jack Clark in 10th. Nicholas Marshall in 11th. Eric Magnussen in 12th. Mateus Balcar in 13th. And Ian Lance down in 14th place. Right, let's see if we've got anybody in the waiting room for a chat here. We do. We have the man that's gone on to take the win. He did it with his grandmother in the car on the Sunday drive, and that was the man himself, all the way from the good old US of A. He's been put up first class by iFormula. They gave him roast chicken, no ready meals on the aeroplane over here, but let's bring him into the booth. Robert, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Hey, can you? Yeah, there we go. I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm not too bad, to be honest. What can we say about that, dude? Domination.
Oh, I mean, if it looked easy, it wasn't. But that was tough. Those dudes are so fast. I had to be perfect, and then even with there's a couple close calls. The pit coming out the pit with Christian, I didn't catch him right there in my blind spot. I almost got Ricardo'd. I was like, but it was a good race.
Yeah, it was. And then you just ran away. The thing is, for me, I don't think, like, if somebody had said, are you going to put your house on, I would have put it on you, because you look quick at the beginning, you look quick after the pit stops, and you were opening gaps on the straightaway with Christian and Mackenzie in the draft. So what were you doing differently that allows you to go and pull away on a straight with them guys in the draft behind you?
Well, here at Ridgeway Racing headquarters, we strive to make the best setups right now. So honestly, right before the race started, I just skimmed a little bit off the top with the wing. I was like, let me take a little advantage, because the grip felt fine, and I had practice on wet, so the setup that made it into dry was I made it. It was just came out nice. It was a good baked cake, and so just had a really nice setup, and I just had to drive it perfect.
A baked cake.
Well, you know, the setups need a marinade. You know, they got some voodoo going on.
They got to mature over time. You know, you need to leave them in the sauce, Robert. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, like taste buds, every driver is different. It might not taste too good to you, so you got to find a different cake.
Maybe that's where I'm going wrong. I'm eating the muffins and I'm not eating the cake. Who knows? Robert, we've got 2 Grand Prix left, the Japanese Grand Prix and the Dutch Grand Prix, right? And where do we think you're going to be in conjunction to them?
Who knows? I'm just glad. A goal is always to get one win a season, so that's achieved. We'll see. Keep pushing. Maybe we'll pull off a couple of miracles for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. If you're as quick as that, then you are going to be absolutely unbeatable there, buddy. I can safely say that one. But anyone before we let you go, you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I got to shout out Christian Glamsetter for making me try so hard. It'd have been nicer to chill, but so thank you, Christian. He's like a coach in a golf cart blowing a whistle at me. The family, you guys, you'll do a great job. iFL, of course, Ridgeway Racing setups, as you can see, they're pretty decent. And, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
And you, man. Take care, and we'll speak to you soon. Right, next up in the booth is Mackenzie Roon. Did he have a reply for Robert Ridgway? Was Robert just too quick? Well, let's find out from Mackenzie Roon's point of view. Mackenzie, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Hey guys, doing good.
How was it out there? It looked quite tough out there at times for you.
It was tough. Not a lot of practice here. They haven't run this particular series at this track yet, so all new to I would assume all of us. But a lot of fun. Monza's great. Yeah, tough day though overall.
Yeah, contact with you and Christian going into turn one. Now, what's your opinion of that first?
Yeah, I mean, we had gone into that chicane 2 or 3 times prior, and my opinion is I didn't go deep or anything. I was making my turn in legally, and I felt like from my perspective I got turned into. But looking back at it, maybe it was a little bit of front tire neck code that kind of exacerbated it. I don't know that anyone's at fault for that. That's probably just an unfortunate incident. Apologies to Christian. That was definitely not intentional. I didn't lock up or anything. I think it was just one of those things. Hard racing.
Yeah, I can safely say it was netcode. Partly because as you come down into the braking zone, you were in a straight line, and then all of a sudden your front chassis twisted, which isn't normal on a racing car under braking. So we instantly knew that it was part and parcel of that there as well. Going forward for you, where do you see yourself? 2 Grand Prix to go, Japanese Grand Prix and also the Dutch Grand Prix. So we're obviously going to Suzuka and Circuit Park Zandvoort. What do we think for you in conjunction with your season? How's it gone, and how do you see yourself coming up after them next 2 races?
I'm excited to finish up this season with 2 amazing tracks. High downforce, really racy tracks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how it finishes. I don't really have any expectations. I'd like to finish top 1 or 2, but we'll see. Christian is just rapid. So, and then Robert, of course. Well, who knows what's going to happen with him and Marion as well.
Yeah, Robert was absolutely speedy today, I think, for us. But Mackenzie, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Actually, shout out to Robert Ridgway. He shared a few pretty great setups for the group, which I imagine were probably the only ones that a lot of us had because, again, they haven't ran this in the opens yet. So not a lot of setups out there. So huge shout out to Robert. I'm pretty sure almost all of us were running his setups. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy, and look forward to seeing you later on.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See ya.
Right, next up is Christian Glamseder, the man who finished in 4th place, was in 2nd, but a high dose of netcode between himself and Mackenzie Roon put an end to that one. Unfortunately, it was a great fight up until then. Christian, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a bit disappointing race, but other than that, it's been fine.
Did you think, let me ask you a question, honestly, did you think you had the pace to keep up with Robert?
At the start, I thought so, but after a couple of laps, I saw he was just dropping me slowly. I tried to stay in the slipstream, but after a tiny mistake, I just went outside the slipstream and I couldn't keep up.
Almost got him coming out of the pit lane. Very close on the pit exit.
Yeah, we had some contact. I don't know if he didn't see me or what happened, but I was on his inside and he turned in and got some minor wheel damage for the rest of the race after, which wasn't ideal.
No, but he did look absolutely rapid as well. 2 rounds to go. You're at the top of the standings. Can you keep it up, you think, for the next 2?
I hope so. It's looking good, at least. I have a pretty decent gap down to Mackenzie, so I'm not too worried, but anything can happen. Slight contact, and if my race ends, it's championship over, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I love how you call you a gap. You got 9 points down to Mackenzie going into this race. So I think the last 2 rounds are going to be absolutely amazing. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Shout out to my team, No Limits in Racing, and shout out to you guys for these awesome broadcasts.
Awesome stuff. Well, Christian, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy, and look forward to seeing what you can do at the next 2 Grand Prix. Right, and the final man of the evening, Marion Barriero, never really looked on the pace this evening. Finished in 3rd after contact with Mackenzie Roon and Christian Glams here. Let's see what he felt about his evening of racing. Marion, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Oh man, I'm fine, but it was a lonely race. I give it that.
Yeah, you were kind of driving around a lot. And what was it, do you think? You're normally right up there. You're normally on the pace. It just didn't seem to be your day today.
Yeah, I mean, in the practice before and in qualifying, I felt like I would have strong pace for the win. But after the race started and I lost a position at the race start and I was in P3 watching the two guys in front of me battle, somehow I settled down my pace because I was thinking these two guys will do something. Will do a mistake. They were really battling hard the first laps. So I tuned down my pace so that I will just stay close, but not that close, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't able afterwards, when they pulled away like 1 second, to close the gap. So I was stuck in the same mental mapping, let's say, in terms of pace. And I wasn't able to get back at it because I was using different braking points, and then I realized there's more grip. So by the end of the last lap, I just found that I could squeeze like 2 more tenths out of the lap, but it was way too late. So it took me like 1 hour to switch back again. But fair play to Robert for the win, and the other guys in front. They were really quick today. I would have loved to be there for some battles, but it was not the day, you know.
It was just one of them things, wasn't it? Unfortunately for you. But going forward, off to Japan, Suzuka next. Where are we going to see Marion Barbaru at Suzuka?
No idea, man. No idea, but hopefully.
No idea. Love it. No idea,
we'll
James.
see.
Not a clue. Don't even know where I'm going to end up. What do we think? Come on, realistically. I love it. I haven't got a clue, James, to be fair. I'm going to turn up, rock the race, and see where I finish. Is that basically it? Is that what we're looking at with yourself? You're just going to rock up and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, for these races, unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to practice, so I just jumped in today and see what the pace will be. So didn't drive this car as much as I would like to, but just because not enough time in my personal schedule. So I take every race like a singular event. So I have no idea what the pace is for the next race, but now I have no idea what my pace will be. But I will try my best to score points for the team. I think we did a great job with the Constructor Championship. I think my teammate Mackenzie is very close to get the Drivers' Championship. It's still behind Christian, but the gap
closed down.
Is a bit. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll do our best to make to help Mackenzie get the championship. And if that will happen, I would be mega happy. And in terms, I don't know, for myself, I'm already happy with how my results are. Obviously, you can always get better, but for the time that I'm investing, and I think it's good enough. So I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Marion, thank you so much for joining us there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out Robert for the setup. We used the setup for this race. He has very good setups. Obviously, he keeps tuning his setups a bit better, but that should be the case. So I would recommend anyone to use his setups. He's very quick. And shout out to my teammates as well, Adrian and Mackenzie, for scoring big points today again.
Well, let's be real. He's never going to give you 100%. Is Marion? You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
All right, bud. You take care, mate, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for the broadcast. You're amazing.
No worries. Well, there you go, guys and girls. Thanks so much for joining us. Final words from you, Brad, as I do this thing one more time on this game that's working properly. What do we think? You know, he was humble, was Robert. You know, he's not, obviously they all thanked him for sharing the setups, but he's never going to give away the secret, is he? And he looks so strong today.
I mean, hey, if you're the guy making the setups and you know what's going on, I mean, you even heard the driver say, hey, we're running Robert's setups. So, I mean, if he can find a last-second tweak, he's going to do it. And obviously today it worked. And, you know, going into Japan and then the Dutch GP, it's very possible that he does the same thing. He just posted the setups on Discord, too, and said, hey, here's what I did different. So now the drivers can look and compare and say, that's what I should have done. I think the last 2 rounds are going to be very interesting. The championship battle's close. It's going to be anyone's guess how this ends.
Yeah, it definitely is. But there you go, guys. That's going to wrap it up for us today on from the iFormula League as well. Don't forget, we've still got a lot more coming up. We've got the FTR Events Production Car Challenge Round 3 from Alton Park. 60 cars, 5 classes. If you're not going to tell me that's not going to be chaotic, well, you're not going to be a racer driver. Then we've got the IGP Fun F3 Season 2 Round 6 from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We've got the opening round later on in 12:50 a.m., which is obviously in the US. It will be the SR4S Season 4 Super Formula Round 1 from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And then you got myself and Brad back again once more for the third time, our third date of the day for the Gen 4 race at Richard Raceway there. So that should be a fun one. But come and check us out if you are a bit of a night owl or just if you like watching some great racing. But for now, guys, from us up here in the JPB booth, I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Bradley Dalton once more. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know. I'll see you on the track sometime. Good night.
Thank you.